before I start this video, I just want to say, if you want to get better FC26, you come join my Patreon series. We're still uploading videos every single day. If you're struggling with defending, struggling to get into the gameplay, you can join my FC school. Don't forget, if you don't get better after 1 month, we'll refund your money. More information will be about this at the end of the video. But let's go over today the tactic that people have been asking me about. I think a lot of people have been playing FUT Champions, and when you're going in those, I might said to you very early on that there's going to be a possession-based game and a lot of the top-tier players are holding the ball. You probably saw that if you played FUT Champions or if you're anywhere above Division 3 in Rivals right now, it's a lot to do with holding possession, and you need some sort of tactic where when your opponent is holding the ball, you want to go and apply pressure. Now, the 4-2-4 is one of my favorite go-tos. You know, I've been using it last year. You know, even pro players use it. It's basically the same as a 4-4-2. You can use a 4-4-2. I just like the 4-2-4 because you have inside forward wingers, and I feel like they're just a bit more attacking than a regular 4-4-2. But this is the layout that I've gone with. So again, codes on my website. But as usual, I'm going to tell you what you can change for your own style, because there's going to be some stupid people that are just going to copy it and start crying they're not good at the game. And obviously, if I release something like this and I give it to some average Timmy in Division 7 who doesn't have any brains, and then they start using it and they start losing, I end up getting blamed. So I have to, of course, go through this. I have to put this. I know there's only 1 or 2 people that say that, but I've got to put this disclaimer here because some people always like to accuse me saying, "Oh, this doesn't work." But anyway, look, I don't even know why I'm even talking about that. But for the 4-2-4, for the back line of 4, I'm personally going with defender defend. I don't feel like I need any more attacking players down the wing. If I really want to trigger one of these players, I may do it. So like I could always do an L1 trigger with one of these players if I really need it. So let's say I've got the ball with Euro. I need that player to make these overlapping runs. Then I may occasionally trigger that player going forward. But in an all-out attacking stance where I'm trying to press the ball, I don't really want that, personally speaking, because I don't want to get countered. So on the defensive phase, you're defending in a 4-4-2. The left wing and the right wing, they actually come back. They don't stay forward. Unless this is inside forward, roaming, or attack, then they stay forward. So actually, from a defensive standpoint, it defends in a 4-4-2. Then what I've got 2 center mids. Now, I would probably recommend for most people watching this, putting one of the players on holding and then one of the players on a playmaker. I think this is one of the best setups. Anyone that's an advanced level, I would say Division 3 and above, I would say consider a box-to-box or 2 playmakers. And that's the way that I'll consider it. So I kind of put Mariona there like this. And then I put Mariona there as a box-to-box, or you can go 2 playmakers. That's why I really have to say in the beginning, disclaimer. If you're going 2 playmakers, you are probably going to concede if you don't know how to run back. But the idea is that when you're attacking, you have these 2 center mid supporting. I generally feel like 2 striker formations are much more superior this year than 1 striker formations, because you can get the ball inside the box, pass one of the strikers, do a bit of dribbling, and you could score a goal. Having 2 strikers available makes it easier to pass the ball to 2 players inside the box as opposed to 1 player. That's why if you see whenever I'm using some sort of 4-4-1-1, as I've always mentioned to you, I use a shadow striker. In my 4-4-1-1s, it's basically a 4-4-2 because the shadow striker plays like a second striker and is basically up front with my main striker. So if you're asking me, compared to what contrast what people are thinking, I think you need 2 strikers. I think once you're up against people that are a bit better, I think people are getting away with it now because defending is quite hard. And I feel like people are just rotating the ball around to get the ball to 1 striker. But I really think 2 strikers is the one to go. I've got 1 poacher advanced forward, 2 different attacking types. And I use inside forward on both the left and the right wing. So this is what I'm going with. If you want it to be a bit more conservative, you can go with 2 box-to-boxes, or you could go with 1 box-to-box and 1 playmaker. Because you have, as I said, these 2 players going forward. Let's say if I do get countered on the transition, then at least I've got a back 4 in shape. So that is why I'm not committing my 4 backs going forward. You might see some players using a left back and right back on wing back. If you're asking me on the elite level, unless you really know what you're doing, I'm be honest, most people are playing some sort of 4-2-1-3. And if someone is smart enough and they put the inside forwards on inside forwards on a winger or inside forward on roaming, and they need them on stay forward, they can just do a simple player lock or first time through ball in behind. You're probably not seeing first time through balls that much in the lower divisions, but I can very much assure you it's on the higher divisions. What I would recommend as well is, let's say you don't like someone like this. Let's say it's too aggressive. One thing you could actually use is a 4-2-2 or 4-4-2. So if you like to attack in a system, but let's say you want to use it for the entire game, so you can see like here you got a 4-2-4. We also have the 4-2-2, but you can use a 4-4-2 second variation. I want to show you over here. A 4-4-2 second variation. Where is it? There it is. And you can put these players on box crasher. So let's say, for example, you wanted a bit more AI movement, but maybe you didn't want to press. Don't forget, the problem is with CDMs, for pressing the ball, they sit too far behind. So you don't want to use a 4-2-1-3 or any CDM formation to press the ball when someone is holding the ball. You need to be using something like a 4-2-4. So that's what I would recommend. So I would strongly recommend using a 4-2-4. Just put inside forward on either side. And then you can put one of the strikers on a poacher. It's up to you whichever one you want to put on, but you can do something like that. And then if you want 2 box-to-boxes, but I'm going with a playmaker and then 1 box-to-box. And then most of the time, fullback defend always for me. And most of the time, if I need to make it a bit more attacking, I can always put one of those CDM or CDM center mids on a playmaker. Now, for the build-up style counter, now this is the most important thing, defensive approach. I think don't go to 95. I think the problem is with 95 is when you're pressing, you're like, unless you're completely new to the game and you don't know how to press at all, and you're just relying on AI, then you can go around 95. You're going to lose a lot of stamina. And the problem is, I think when you're trying to attack your opponent, the problem is, let's say you're losing 3-0. You don't want to make it 4-0. And I think the problem is with extreme, you're committing way too far forward. And I would say the biggest issues are these gaps between the left centre backs, the half space, left centre backs, and the right centre backs, and actual fullbacks. That I would say is a big issue. So I would not use extreme. I would much prefer you to go towards high. It's a bit of a progressive. What I'd recommend is probably you can max it out to the highest, but before going to the 91. So just go to 90, and that would be the highest that I would do. Then I would be using teammate contain, and I will press the ball. With my back four, I'm not running out. You know how last year and previous years you would see me play like aggressive, even if that means that I concede a goal, I don't mind because that's my own style. I'm going to be honest, when I'm pressing in the back four, if I'm losing possession, and let's say someone is in behind my 2 center mids, I'm going to be honest, I'm running back with my center mids, and I'm not committing any of my back four going forward. I think now, if you commit your back four going forward, even if you read the passing lane, you probably know what I'm talking about with interceptions. Even if you read the passing lane, sometimes when you go intercept it, you don't win the ball back, and you can very easily get countered so easily this game. And, you know, one step on the wrong side, someone can just run in behind. So that's what I probably would go with. Something like this, 90 with a high depth, not extreme. I'll only use extreme if you're completely new to the game and you have no idea what I'm talking about. But I would recommend using high, use a bit of teammate contain yourself, and this would be the best approach. Only really use extreme if you're A, know how to defend, and you're in the last like 10, 15 minutes of the game, or B, let's say you have no idea how to press, and you just want AI to help you, and maybe you're getting like 5-6 wins in a weekend league and you really want the help. But I think anyone that's Division 2 and above should be using high here. So that's the code for this one over here. You probably don't need a code for this realistically because you're probably just going to be adjusting this for your own style. But again, the 2 center mids will be dependent on how you play. Remember, I think most people will struggle with 2 playmakers. I think 1 box-to-box, 1 playmaker is what I'll probably release it as. But if you really struggle with that, you can go with 1 holding. But then I feel you lose a bit of oomph in the formation. You kind of want those 2 center mids drawing the attack. But this would be a pressing system. And don't forget, if you want to get better at FC26, you can come join my Patreon series, patreon.com/nilguys. We're uploading so many videos. We're struggling to defend. We got the whole defending series. And of course, you've got meta mechanics series. We also made some videos like kickoff, defending actions, how to defend, FC26 roles. We go over this in detail if you want to see how positions are. And of course, some real life examples as well. If you want to see some real life examples, how to defend in real life and how defending never, people see defending changed this year. It never changed. And defending hasn't changed for the last 10, 15 years in the game. Up until when it was like a 1-button system. It's been the same, but it's just the way you have to understand how to defend. And of course, meta squad builders and so on and so forth. And of course, if you're struggling to press, let's say, for example, you want to learn how to press. We've actually created a video. It's like a 3-hour documentary. It's a really long video, but it's called, where is it? It's manual pressing. So it's, for example, how to use right stick switching. It's a hidden video, of course. You can see like an hour and a half long, a Nil Guy's documentary. But I explained to you, for example, how to press, how to use right stick switch, when to close the gap, how to attack players, how to go forward, reading the opponents, when to commit going forward. So if you want to see how to press the ball and understanding when to run back, when to run forward when you got those two center mids, that video is there. Links down below in the description. Don't forget, if you don't get bet after 1 month, we will refund your money. That is the Nil Guys guarantee if you don't get bet after 1 month. So you got nothing to lose. Get ahead of the game now. Patreon.com/nilguys. Links down in the description. Catch you next time. Peace out.